You know the tightness in your chest when you walk into a room full of strangers, that split second where you adjust your shirt, check your phone, and wonder if everyone noticed the way you just stumbled over your words. You think they're dissecting your outfit. You think they're tallying up your failures. You think the entire world is sitting in a giant theater, popcorn in hand, watching the you show and waiting for you to mess up. But here is the cold, hard reality that is going to save your life. The theater is empty. The seats are dusty. The projector isn't even plugged in. Nobody is watching you. Nobody is judging you. And honestly, nobody is judging you. And honestly, nobody cares about you. At first, that feels like a slap in the face. Our egos are built on the idea that we are the protagonists of a grand epic. We want to be important. We want to be the center of the universe. To be told that you are essentially invisible to the rest of the world feels like a tragedy. But if you sit with that thought for more than a minute, you will realize it's actually the greatest gift you've ever been given. It is the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card. Think about the last time you saw someone do something truly embarrassing in public. Maybe they tripped. Maybe they got rejected. Maybe they got rejected. Maybe they gave a presentation and their voice cracked. How long did you actually think about it? 5 seconds? 10? By the time you turned the corner, you were already back to thinking about your own bank account, your own relationship problems, or what you're going to eat for dinner. You are the center of your own universe, and every single person you meet is the center of theirs. They don't have the mental bandwidth to care about your failures. They're too busy worrying about their own. Marcus Aurelius sat in a tent on the edge of the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago and realized this exact thing. He was the most powerful man on earth. People literally bowed when he walked by, and yet he wrote in his private journal that fame is just the clapping of hands, and that soon both the person praising and the person being praised will be nothing but dust and a forgotten story. He knew that even at the height of his power, the opinions of the masses were as fleeting as the wind. If the Emperor of Rome could accept his own insignificance, what are you so afraid of? You spent your whole life living in a cage made of other people's opinions. You didn't start that business because you were afraid of what your old high school friends would say. You didn't wear that outfit because you didn't want people to think you were trying too hard. You didn't speak your truth because you were terrified of being cancelled or judged. You are a lion being held captive by a fence made of thin glass. One realization breaks that glass. Their opinions don't exist outside of your own head. When you finally accept that nobody cares, you gain a superpower. You become dangerously free. You can start that cringe YouTube channel. You can fail at 3 different startups. You can move to a new city where nobody knows your name and reinvent yourself from scratch. Why? Because even if you crash and burn, the world will glance at the smoke for a second and then go back to scrolling on their phones. The shame of failure is a ghost. It has no teeth. It can't actually hurt you unless you give it permission. Let's look at the year we're in right now. 2026 is the loudest era in human history. Everyone is screaming for attention. Everyone is trying to be a brand, but the people who actually win are the ones who stopped performing for the crowd a long time ago. They realize that the crowd is just a collection of anxious individuals who are also terrified of being judged. When you stop caring if they like you, you stop being a slave to their expectations. You stop being a nice guy or a people pleaser, and you start being a force of nature. Think about the projects you've put on hold, the dreams you've buried because they felt too risky. The risk isn't that people will judge you. The risk is that you will live your entire life as a background character in someone else's story, only to realize at the end that they weren't even looking at the screen. You are sacrificing your potential to appease an audience that isn't even there. This stoic indifference is what separates the masters from the amateurs. An amateur performs for the applause. When the applause stops, they quit. A master performs for the craft itself. They do the work because the work needs to be done. They don't care if it goes viral, and they don't care if it flops. They are insulated from the highs and the lows because their validation comes from inside, not from the fickle clapping of hands. This is how you build unbreakable confidence. Most people try to build confidence by getting more likes, more money, or more status. But that's hollow confidence. It can be taken away in a heartbeat. Real confidence comes from the realization that you could lose it all. You could look like a complete idiot and it wouldn't matter. You would still be you. The sun would still rise, the world would still move on. Take a look at your social circle. How many of those people actually have your back? How many of them spend even 10 minutes a week thinking about your happiness? Probably very few. That's not because they're bad people. It's because they are human. They are fighting their own demons. They are drowning in their own noise. Once you stop expecting them to care, you stop being disappointed when they don't. You stop looking for their permission to be happy. You realize that your life is a private workshop, not a public stage. When you walk through the world with this mindset, your body language changes. You stop looking for approval in people's eyes. You stop checking to see if your jokes landed. You speak with more weight. You move with more purpose. People are actually drawn to this. Ironically, the less you care about what people think of you, the more they tend to respect you. They can sense that you aren't a pawn in their game. They can sense that you are anchored in something deeper than the social weather of the day. So, here is your homework. Tomorrow, do something that makes you feel slightly exposed. Speak up in a meeting when you'd usually stay quiet. Wear that thing you think is too much. Post that video you've been editing for 3 months. And as you do it, watch the world. Notice how the sky doesn't fall. Notice how people might look for a second, and then immediately return to their own lives. Feel the weight lift off your shoulders. The fear of judgment is a tax you've been paying on a life you haven't been living. It's time to stop paying. It's time to realize that your reputation is just a collection of hallucinations in the minds of people who are barely paying attention anyway. Your life belongs to you, not your parents, not your boss, not your followers, and certainly not your critics. We are all just flashes of lightning in a long, dark night. We appear, we strike, and we are gone. In 100 years, every person you are trying to impress will be dead. Every person whose judgment you fear will be forgotten. The only thing that will remain is the quality of the life you chose to live. Did you live it for them or did you live it for you? Stop waiting for the perfect moment when you feel safe enough to be yourself. That moment doesn't exist. You will never be completely safe from judgment because people will always have opinions. But those opinions only have power if you believe they do. Once you see through the illusion, you are free to dance, to create, to fail, and to win on your own terms. The next time you feel that familiar spike of anxiety, that what will they think feeling, I want you to smile. Remind yourself of the truth. They aren't thinking about you, they are too busy worrying about what you're thinking about them. It's a giant global game of mirrors where everyone is scared of a reflection that isn't even there. Break the mirror. Step off the stage. Join the ranks of the few who have realized that being nobody to the world is the only way to be somebody to yourself. The world's indifference is not a cold wind, it's the wind beneath your wings. It means there are no stakes, it means the pressure is off. It means you can finally start living. Nobody cares. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it tastes like freedom, because the moment you truly understand that nobody is watching is the moment you can finally show the world who you really are.